Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays, and I'm in the Kurfürst, at tier 10 German battleship. I'm on the map Mountain Range, and it's a 3-point domination game. There is a sub, there also is a carrier, so we have all the fun in the game in one little battle. Well anyway, speaking of fun, it turns out that the enemy Khabarovsk is charging for some reason. So not only has it entered my hydro range, it also doesn't seem to have the backup plan. It's trying to smoke inside my hydro. And it just got rained. Now, I presume, yeah, there are some torpedoes coming my way, but honestly, who cares? I do have hydro running, and, well, I mean, the Kurfürst isn't the most nimble one, but there should be enough time to just turn away from those. So that was not a very smart Khabarovsk, but it's a very good start for us. Which is nice, because our team has decided to not contest A, for whatever reason. It's not like they have a radar over there. In B, we have two subs facing off against each other. So at least they don't bother anybody else, that's good news. And also so far the carrier is focusing on the other flank, good news for me. Now we don't have a lot of ships here. With the Khabarovsk taken care of, the enemy doesn't have that. Well, the enemy has about 4 ships here and we have 3, I suppose. But of course the Shimakaze will stay undetected. So if I were to charge in, it would be basically all ships focusing me, possibly also the Annapolis. So we might wanna still play this a little bit careful. Now, the Annapolis has a radar, but maybe Viper can, like, bait out the radar, survive it behind an island, and then just grab this camp. And I'll just stay here a little bit in the back, probably. And see if there's an opportunity to push at some point. Now, the Annapolis is somewhat broadside, although it's already turning away. Let's see if we can do something there. And it looks like the Conde is going to push around this island. So you know what? I mean, this island in front of me isn't the best cover, but if the Conde comes here, right, I could go to this island and prepare for the Conde, having the Conde in secondary range, and then blapping it when it comes around with my main guns. Of course, my main guns would first need to hit. And I'm suitably on fire right now. Now, honestly, I'd expected to go into concealment here, but with being on fire, the poison can spot me from over there, so that's not gonna happen. And it looks like the Conde has decided to not come in here for a broadside. It's a shame, right? I would have hoped it's a careless ship, just sailing in front of my guns. But if it's not willing, then we'll do this a little bit more careful, I guess. So I'm gonna turn around and possibly start kiting away. I can't really win a long-range duel against all those 4 enemies just pummeling me. So if I can't force like some more close-range engagement and smack some broadsides, then I need to probably just kite away. Now we are 1 ship ahead, we have a camp, the enemy has a camp. Interestingly enough, our forces are all just I don't know what they are doing. For some reason, right, we don't have A, we are not even contesting A, even though the Halland shouldn't have much of a position there. We have 3 ships behind the B camp for no reason, even though there is only a submarine there. I mean, at least those guys might be shooting our ships here at sea. We'll see how that turns out. Once again, like, I'm not in a position to win this long-range fight. It's like in a Kurfürst, you don't, in a brawling spec Kurfürst, you don't want to be in a sniping duel, and you most definitely don't want to be in a sniping duel with 4 enemies. I mean, that Conqueror alone is just gonna keep me on fire forever. And fires do percentage-based damage, which means my hit points are pointless. Armor is pointless, right? Against fires, you just... Well, it's a race against time, sorta. So, the enemy is well, the poison is slowly pushing in. If I wait here, I can at least get my secondaries going, and this is where Viper comes in, right? Viper is now providing me with a smoke screen. Now, of course, I can't blind fire from a smoke. Well, I can't, like, fire and stay undetected in a smoke screen, right? But what I could do is I could use my secondaries without being detected, because the poison is in secondary range. Now, I used my main guns mostly because the Conqueror was not very well angled, and that was definitely worth it. So what I can do now is I can just let my secondaries focus the poison, and only shoot targets of opportunity. So instead of being in a bad ranged duel, I can now just make broadsides and otherwise use my secondaries for now. Now, interestingly enough, we haven't seen the Conde yet. I don't think the Conde really has good angles to sit behind this island. I'm not seeing any shells coming from there. So I have absolutely no idea what the Conde is doing, right? Ever since I expected it to come behind this island, it looks like the Conde just parked there and I don't know when to make a sandwich. Which is not too bad for us, because if the enemy was actually serious about fighting here, we would possibly be in some trouble. Meanwhile, our team isn't doing too badly elsewhere, although once again, right, we have the similar of caps and we have only one ship advantage. Now, the poison is not that serious about pushing after all. I'm not entirely sure why. It looks like the poison wants to camp behind the cover of an island. I mean, sure, I have a shimmer here with me, right? So the poison is concerned about those torpedoes. And if it's hydroing, it possibly stopped because it saw the torps coming. Now, it's interesting that none of the other enemies want to do something like... Sure, the Annapolis is not really a frontline ship. The Conde would do a bit better in that regard, I suppose. But the Conqueror is... Well, as Conquerors are way too afraid to actually be seen. But you know, with the Annapolis Raider, they even have good tools against Viper here to keep him at bay. So if the enemy actually were to push... Well, if they knew what they were doing, they would be doing pretty well. Now, it looks like the Conde has finally decided to get back into this battle, and the poison is now moving out. So it's possible that he was just waiting out the torps. Now, 2 fires, I'm gonna try to damage condos, especially since I have cover, right? So my current plan is to focus on the poison, possibly also the Annapolis, that ventured too far. So... Well, that worked. So this Annapolis was too careless and was broadside, and for once, Kurfürst guns have absolutely delivered. The poison is again seeking cover. Now, as I was trying to say earlier, I'm trying to use the island right next to me to block the Conde and the Conqueror and focus the poison and the Annapolis at a time. Well, the Annapolis was taken care of rather easily. Now we're just trying to focus down the poison, which is working, right? So I'm trying to, even though the enemy, well, they had the superior numbers, I'm trying to engage them in ways where they can't use those numbers. And as I said, like, the enemy is really playing into us here, because they've refused to actually commit to a push, and they have positioned in ways that they can't all fight at the same time. So that's nice. So this poison is soon gonna go down. And that would just leave the Conde and the Conqueror. Now, I'm not best angled against the poison, I have to say. But my priority is just to use the island to block 2 of the enemies. So I'm willing to show more of a broadside to a poison if I can avoid the Conde and the Conqueror from shooting me. And this poison is, yeah, it's dead now anyway. Now, the Conde has torpedoes, and it's getting awfully close, so is the Conqueror. So I can sail around this island and engage them, or I can just wait and see them coming. But my rear gun angles aren't that great, and the Conqueror is coming around here full broadside. So I'm gonna go full speed, commit to this turn, and you know, he can't citadel me, and I can't citadel him. So that should work. Right. So he got a good Nice. It got a nice salvo into me, but I got a much nicer salvo back. Now the Conde is gonna come in with force. Hydro isn't ready yet, although I'm so close that yeah, I'm seeing them launched anyway. That was a pretty bad top launch by the Conde. But it's trying to outrun my turret traverse, which is working partially, I guess. But if it topped now, I would have been dead. Now I can smack this Conde broadside and unleash the Kraken. Yeah, no. Of course not. This is not how World of Warships works. So the Kraken was denied to me, but Viper managed to take out the Conde. Meanwhile, my team has sunk pretty much everything else, and this is a victory. So that brings us to the results, and this was a surprisingly fun match. Well, I mean, it came down to the fact that the sub and the carrier stayed away. And we actually got some brawling done, so there is that. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.